You know, it's funny, I was talking earlier today about Uncle Mason and how tragic it was to have to kill off such a fine-looking young man. You know, but the whole point was that we knew we wanted Tyler to be all alone when this came around. The biggest, most life-altering experience, personally and physically for him, and he was going to have nobody, no father, no mentor, no friend, and that would pave way for an unlikely friend to step in and help him through it. And you know, Caroline's whole journey is, everybody thought she was so selfish in season 1 and kind of self-centered, but in reality she just kind of loves too much and cares too much and just wants people to connect with her, and that's been kind of her Achilles heel as a human, which became sort of her greatest asset as a vampire, which is that she's been able to step into a really perilous situation and be this kid's friend and be there for him. You know, that's what I thought was so beautiful about it. It's just the bond of two unlikely supernatural creatures that shouldn't be in the same room with each other on a full moon, and yet her unwillingness to leave him, not wanting him to be alone.
So for you two, if Tyler comes back,
he is coming back.
What do you want to see happen? I mean, they sort of left where they were talking to each other. They left it at, at that point where, he kind of likes her and she's mad at him for not helping her get out of the torture thing. So what do you hope happens if he comes back?
I think it depends on the circumstance and the intention of him coming back. And, I think that's going to be the biggest factor.
I would want him to come back and try and start up that relationship again.
Of course you would.
But then I'm thinking, Tyler's departure, he did have a real, heart-to-heart with Max.
It's about Matt. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
She should be with him, so I want you to be happy, but take care of her. Probably won't talk and kill you. But, it is going to be interesting. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen and how they're going to react, but it's going to be a moment.
You're so bit of lying.
All right, so Candice, speaking as Caroline, who's a better kisser?
Girl doesn't kiss and tell.
Well, that's a good answer.
I would if I had kissed my That's luck.
All right, so this brings up something that you and I were talking about a little bit ago, which was the romance on the show, and how it's sort of that old Shakespeare Romeo and Juliet thing. You said something interesting about what you guys talk about for each episode with the romance. I was wondering if you could share it with them.
Yeah, we've got witches doing magnificent witchy things, and vampires being vampy, and wolves being wolfy, and that's all great, and that's why the show is so exciting. But when we begin to tell a story, we start in a place of what is our love story? Who are these people who love each other? And it's not just romantic love, it's platonic love, it's family unit, it's where do your loyalties lie, who do you trust, who can you count on, and who's going to be there by your side to lead you through the most complicated time in your life, whether it be a transformation or just growing up. And, those relationships are very, very trying and painful, and they're not always going to end well, and yet, and they're going to shift, and they're going to turn, and you're going to have your first love, and then your first real love, or you're going to fall in love with your best friend, and then realize that, that maybe that you've got to take a different journey on your path growing up, and everything that we do comes out of really cementing the emotional relationships on the show, so that we can have fun with the Romeo and Juliet of a vampire and a werewolf, and the human caught in between with his best friend and the girl that he loves, and and of course we all know the Stefan and Elena and Damon of it all. There's so much to play with there, and it's the cheesy, they're all side of me and of all of us, but it's really where everything is built on the show.
All right. And earlier we talked about the torture scene and Tyler's transformation, pretty intense scenes. I was wondering, Candice and Michael, how do you guys unplug after that?
Pardon?
How do you guys unplug after that? Is it easy to just wash that away and go home and you're fine?
Absolutely not, no.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Chocolate chip cookies don't hurt. Chocolate chip cookies don't hurt.
Production got pizzas.
When we wrapped, after the 2 days,
not-
yes, one of our awesome ADs, Tony, he got me a pizza, because again, aside from just, it's not like, oh, here's a pizza, like, I had a